Yo, how's it going everybody? It's me, Arctic. Today we're going to be going over a weapons guide for Tartaglia. Now, since he is going to potentially be getting a rerun in Update 2.2, this is not confirmed yet. However, I wanted to start this off with a weapons guide and a build guide for Tartaglia, so you guys are prepared for his rerun if you are planning on it going for him. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. It really helps me out if you do. But anyway, let's get back to the video. So basically, I'm going to summarize Tartaglia's kit real quick. As you guys know, he ascends with Hydro damage, and also his auto attacks are actually his elemental skill. As you guys know, it does these Hydro blades. He is very, very good for AoE kind of and mob clear with his elemental skill. However, he also can be a main DPS as well. And he also has this Havoc Obliteration thing right here, which is his ultimate, which is honestly pretty good. It does some good damage with its scalings and that kind of stuff. But basically how you end up using Tartaglia is you apply Riptide status to enemies, and that is basically going to trigger Hydro explosions every second after you basically auto attack with your Tartaglia. The thing you want to keep in mind with Tartaglia is that you can't stay in his melee stance forever, so it's very good to swap him out for other characters. For example, like you can use him in a Raiden team comp, you can use him with like other characters like Xiao, Eula, basically just have another main DPS that you can have on the field at the time of using this character. Tartaglia can be built both as a burst DPS and also a main DPS, so that's the two builds we're going to talk about today. I'm basically going to be going over all the different weapons that are in the game right now, and also a current upcoming weapon that's going to be in 2.2, and whether or not those are going to be good for his main DPS build, or his just kind of burst support build, where you just basically pop in, uses burst, some auto attacks a little bit, and which I think is actually a pretty fun way to use Tartaglia. So the first bow that some people use on their Tartaglia is the Stringless, and now they usually use this one for the burst support route, which is where they're trying to trigger like vaporize reactions with his burst, which I think is a pretty good idea since it does give you a burst damage boost right here, but then it also gives you some elemental mastery, which increases your reaction damage. So it's not that bad of a weapon. However, this doesn't help you on your auto attacks at all or your overall build. One is the Alley Hunter. Now this is actually one that I really do actually recommend for Tartaglia. Since you are going to be swapping him off the field for a decent bit of time, what you can end up doing with this weapon is popping on the field, using like your autos for like 10 seconds, swapping off, and then basically charging up this maximum damage boost increase for a bit. Plus its base stats are pretty high, and it does come with attack substats, so it's not that bad of a weapon on Tartaglia. Blackcliff Warbow can be used on either build, either his main DPS or actually burst DPS build. And the reason behind this is because crit damage is a pretty good stat right here, and also its ability right here, it basically can give you some extra attack for defeating enemies for 30 seconds. And so its base attack is high, crit damage is a substat. And what you can basically end up doing with this is it's going to give you some decent auto attack damage, and then it's also going to allow you to have a good base stats for doing like burst reactions. This is probably his best 4-star option just because it does boost his like normal attack damage by a whole bunch, and it does give you some attack percent on Ascension, so it's not that bad of a weapon. Basically really good for main DPS. I would recommend this just in general for Tartaglia. I will basically cover more about like what actual artifact sets you should choose later on. This right now is just basically a weapons guide. Sacrificial Bow isn't that bad of an option right now. If you are going for like burst support Tartaglia, what you can end up doing is running like 4-piece emblem alongside this, and it's not that bad actually. Although its elemental skill thing, cooldown reduction thing, it does not actually trigger based off of any of Tartaglia's elemental damage. It does still have a high base attack and energy recharge. I would still recommend the Blackcliff Warbow over this weapon, however. Viridescent Hunt is the Battle Pass option for Tartaglia. Now this one is pretty good, and upon hit, you basically get some Cyclone grouping, and this will do like some damage basically. And then it also comes with crit rate, which is a good stat to have on Tartaglia, so we can actually crit a lot more readily. So this one can be a pretty good option all around on Tartaglia. Now getting into the 5-star options, Skyward Harp and also the Thundering Pulse are probably two kind of interchangeable weapons actually. The Skyward Harp, what it does is it basically gives you some crit rate, and then it increases your crit damage and gives you like a little AoE thing that you can trigger. And it does have a pretty good high base attack. But the other weapon is the Thundering Pulse, and now this one basically is kind of similar in terms of damage output. It comes with a crit damage Ascension, but it also comes with attack percent, which is very nice to have on Tartaglia, and it gives you a damage boost to your auto attack. So overall, this one becomes a little bit higher damage potential. Mind is that with this one, you want to run a crit rate hat, so you can actually crit, and then with the Skyward Harp, you want to run a crit damage hat, so you have more crit damage. And overall, they're both pretty good options. Support Elegy at the end isn't that bad, actually, considering that its energy recharge will actually benefit you if you are running a 4-piece emblem. And this one also increases like your elemental mastery, and it also gives your teammates a boost with their like damage and that kind of stuff. So overall, pretty decent weapon actually. Now it's gotten a little bit better over the time. Okay, and now for the two new weapons. This first one is the Watatsumi Wave Walker in terms of its passive right here. And basically, it converts your team's maximum elemental energy into elemental burst damage. So this one could actually be pretty good for like burst support Tartaglia. And its base stats are pretty nice. It does have a high base attack, and it comes with an attack substat. And the last weapon right here is the Biomural Star. And basically, this one I've been seeing a lot of people saying that it is better than the Thundering Pulse. However, it is not. And the reason behind that is because Tartaglia doesn't do any elemental skill damage, except like his Riptide Flash triggerings or whatnot. And so basically they thought that like elemental skill damage also boosts like his auto attack damage in this elemental skill, but it does not. And so this one is only really good for like burst support Tartaglia, which I think it still could be used on him for burst support. And basically its passive basically stacks up these attack percent increases and increases created by normal, charged, elemental skill, or elemental burst will be counted independently from each other. So basically you get like 4 stacks and then you have attack percent increase. This is honestly an alright weapon for Tartaglia. However, I think this one is actually going to be gone used like best in slot for burst support in the future. But that's basically it for the weapons that are for Tartaglia. I will be making a complete build guide for him covering like weapons, artifacts, and best build choices, and also tips and tricks, you know, with how to use actual Tartaglia closer to release. I just wanted to make this video for the heck of it, and to see if there's actually any interest in these videos. So remember to leave a like and subscribe. But anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I'll see you guys next time. Farewell.